Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're taking a trip back in time, back to the Great Depression. We're going to explore a piece of history that's beautiful and surprisingly affordable.
Hmm.
A pink Depression glass butter dish.
Okay.
Part of the pink cube pattern made by Jeannette
Yeah.
between 1929 and 1933.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm already fascinated by this contrast of having luxury glassware during such a tough economic time.
Yeah, it's a fascinating paradox, and it really says a lot about the ingenuity of these manufacturers like Jeannette Glasgow.
Right.
They really understood that even during times of hardship, people still craved beauty and a touch of normalcy
Huh.
in their lives.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we think of the Great Depression, we often picture bread lines and dust bowls.
Right.
But this butter dish, it kind of paints a different picture.
Yeah.
A picture of resilience and resourcefulness, even a bit of optimism.
Absolutely. And that's what makes depression glass so captivating. It's a tangible reminder that even amidst adversity, people found ways to bring beauty and joy into their homes. This pink cube pattern in particular, with its delicate pink hue and those geometric designs,
Yeah.
it reflects the Art Deco style that was popular at the time, that style that was all about sleek lines and modern elegance.
Okay, hold on, because for some of us who aren't design experts,
Sure.
could you break down Art Deco for me a little bit? What makes it so special?
So think about the Chrysler Building in New York City, or those vintage posters with the bold geometric patterns and that sense of movement.
Hmm.
That's Art Deco in a nutshell. It was all about embracing the new, celebrating progress, finding beauty in the industrial age.
So this little pink butter dish is like a mini time capsule of 1930s style.
It really is.
It's amazing how something as simple as a butter dish can reflect the broader cultural trends of a whole era.
Yeah, and to go even deeper, this specific butter dish is quite sought after by collectors today. Yeah. Part of its allure is its rarity. You see, while Jeannette Glasgow was known for making affordable glassware, this particular butter dish, it was slightly more expensive to produce due to its intricate design and the amount of glass required, so fewer were made compared to other pieces in the pink cube pattern.
Oh, so not all pink cube pieces are created equal. That
Exactly.
makes this butter dish even more special. But how did Jeannette Glasgow manage to create these beautiful pieces and still keep them affordable for the average person during the Depression?
Well, their secret weapon was mass production. They used a technique called press molding, where molten glass was pressed into intricate molds. It allowed them to create large quantities of these pieces very quickly and efficiently. And then also they cleverly used readily available materials, which helped to keep the costs down.
So it's like they were masters of making luxury accessible.
Yeah.
They understood that beauty and quality shouldn't be exclusive to the wealthy.
Exactly. And to further increase their reach, they often gave away depression glass pieces as promotions. Imagine finding a beautiful pink butter dish in your cereal box.
Oh, wow.
It was marketing genius. It helped bring a touch of sparkle into homes that were struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah, it must have been a real treat to find one of these beauties tucked away in your cereal box.
Right.
It wasn't just about the object itself. It was about the feeling that it evoked, that sense of hope and delight in the midst of hard times.
You hit the nail on the head. These pieces weren't just pretty, they were a statement.
Right.
Imagine receiving a beautiful pink butter dish as a gift during the Depression. It was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in hard times, beauty and joy could still be found.
Okay, that makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Beyond the pink color and the Art Deco design, what makes this butter dish specifically stand out?
Hmm.
From other pink cube pieces like a vase or a drinking glass, what makes it so special for collectors?
Well, aside from its rarity, the butter dish holds a certain nostalgic appeal. Think about it. Back then, this butter dish would have been a staple on the family table, a silent witness to countless meals and conversations. It represents a time when families gathered around the table, sharing stories and creating memories.
Yeah, it's like each piece carries with it the echoes of family meals, conversations, and memories. It's not just about the object itself, it's the stories it holds. And I think that's something that resonates with a lot of people today.
Yeah.
In a world of mass-produced, disposable goods, there's something really special about owning something that has a history, something that has stood the test of time.
I agree. Yeah, you've touched on something really important there, depression glass. It speaks to that yearning for connection, for a sense of continuity with the past. And I think that's especially powerful today when everything seems so fleeting and disposable.
Yeah, it's true. There's something so satisfying about holding a piece of history in your hands, knowing that it was crafted with care. and has survived for almost a century. It's like a little victory over time,
It is.
a tangible link to the past.
And that durability is another fascinating aspect of depression glass. While it was affordable, it was also surprisingly tough. Jeannette Glasgow used a type of glass called soda lime glass,
Okay.
which was known for its strength and clarity.
So it wasn't just beautiful, it was built to last. It makes you wonder, did people back then have a different relationship with their possessions?
Absolutely. During the Depression, people cherished what they had. They took care of their belongings, repaired them when they broke, and often passed them down for generations.
Yeah.
So these pieces weren't just objects, they were investments,
Right.
both emotional and practical.
And for collectors today, finding these pieces is like uncovering hidden treasures.
Right.
Each piece has a story to tell, a journey it's been on.
It is for collectors. It's about more than just acquiring objects. It's about piecing together the past, one butter dish or vase at a time. They spend hours researching patterns and colors and manufacturers, becoming amateur historians in the process.
And for you, as a collector, the thrill of the hunt is probably half the fun.
Right.
Sifting through antique shops,
Yeah,
finding that hidden gem. It's almost like an archaeological dig for depression glass.
you're spot on. It is incredibly satisfying to uncover a rare piece tucked away in a dusty corner of an antique shop. And the more you know about depression glass, the more rewarding that hunt becomes.
It's almost like each piece you find unlocks a little bit more of the story,
Right.
adding another layer to your understanding of the era. But with so many pieces out there, do collectors usually specialize in certain types of depression glass?
Many do. Some collectors focus on specific colors like pink or green, while others specialize in particular patterns like the pink cube we've been discussing. Some even collect pieces from only one manufacturer, like Jeannette Glasgow.
So it's a hobby that can really grab you. You can start with a simple pink butter dish and end up down a rabbit hole of historical research and passionate collecting.
It certainly can. And there are entire online communities and organizations dedicated to depression glass collecting, where people share their knowledge and trade pieces and connect over their shared passion. It's a wonderful way to connect with like-minded people and learn from each other.
It's amazing how a simple object like a butter dish can spark such a vibrant community. And I imagine that sense of community adds another layer of meaning to the pieces themselves.
Precisely. It's not just about the glass, it's about the stories, the history, and the connections those pieces represent. And for many collectors, it's a way to preserve a part of American history and keep those stories alive.
And in the case of this pink butter dish, it's a story of beauty, ingenuity, and resilience in the face of adversity. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to find joy and beauty, even in the most challenging of times.
And that message, I think, is something that transcends time. We all face challenges in our lives, but the desire for beauty, for connection, for something that brings us comfort and joy, that's a universal human experience.
You've given me so much to think about. It's incredible how much history and meaning can be packed into a single piece of glass.
And that's the beauty of objects, isn't it? They have the power to transport us back in time, to connect us to the past, and to remind us of what truly matters.
It makes you wonder what stories the objects in our own homes would tell if they could talk. What would they say about us, about our values,
Uh-huh.
about our place in history?
Yeah, that's a really thought-provoking question. I'm looking around my own living room right now, and I'm suddenly curious about the stories behind every piece. You know, I've chosen to surround myself with all these things.
And that brings us to another fascinating point. While depression glass may be from a bygone era, the desire for beauty and affordable luxury in everyday objects, that's
Yeah.
still very much alive today.
Yeah, that's true. Think about the popularity of vintage and retro styles, the resurgence of craft fairs and handmade goods, the conscious effort to choose items that are well-made and built to last. It's like we're trying to recapture that sense of meaning and connection.
That depression glass represents.
Exactly. We are still drawn to things that are both beautiful and accessible, things that elevate our daily lives and connect us to something larger than ourselves. It's that innate human need for beauty and connection. It transcends time and economic circumstances.
So even though we might not be finding pink butter dishes in our cereal boxes anymore, we're still searching for those little sparks of joy and beauty in the objects we choose to bring into our lives.
Precisely. And that appreciation for the beauty and meaning in everyday objects is something that connects us to the people who treasured their depression glass nearly a century ago.
We've covered so much ground today, from the history of depression glass and the ingenuity of Jeannette Glasgow,
Hmm.
to the social impact of these pieces and the passionate community of collectors who keep these stories alive.
And it all started with that one pink butter dish.
Right?
It's amazing how such a seemingly simple object can unlock so much history and culture and even personal reflection.
It really is. And for anyone listening, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to take a closer look at the objects in your own life. What stories do they tell? What meaning do they hold? And how do they reflect your values and your connection to the past?
Perhaps you have a piece of depression glass tucked away in a cabinet, or maybe it's a family heirloom passed down through generations. Whatever it may be, we encourage you to appreciate its beauty, its history, and the unique story it has to tell.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of objects and the stories they hold.